on neuroscience. The brain is the most complex organ in the human body, responsible for controlling everything we do, from our movements to our emotions and thoughts. It is made up of billions of neurons that work together in complex networks to create our conscious experience of the world. In this video, we will explore the anatomy of the brain, how neurons communicate with each other, and the role of different parts of the brain in controlling our behavior and emotions.
The brain is divided into different parts, each with its own unique function. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is responsible for complex thinking and voluntary actions, such as planning, problem-solving, and decision-making. It is divided into two hemispheres, the left and the right, which are connected by a thick bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. The cerebellum, located at the back of the brain, is responsible for coordination and balance, as well as the timing and accuracy of movements. The brainstem, which is the lowest part of the brain, connects the brain to the spinal cord and is responsible for controlling basic life functions such as breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure.
Neurons are the basic building blocks of the brain. They communicate with each other through synapses, which are tiny gaps between neurons. When a neuron fires, it releases neurotransmitters that travel across the synapse to another neuron, causing it to fire as well. This process of firing and communicating between neurons creates the complex neural networks that control our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors.
There are many different types of neurons, each with its own unique structure and function. Sensory neurons, for example, are responsible for transmitting information about our environment from our senses to our brain. Motor neurons, on the other hand, transmit signals from the brain to our muscles, allowing us to move and carry out complex actions.
In addition to neurons, the brain also contains glial cells, which provide support and protection for neurons. Glial cells also play a role in the immune system and in repairing damage to the brain.
Understanding the anatomy and basic function of the brain is essential to understanding the more complex topics in neuroscience, such as neuroplasticity, memory, and mental health. In the next sections, we will explore these topics in more detail, building on our understanding of the basic structure and function of the brain.
Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt to new situations and experiences. It is a key factor in learning and recovery from injuries. For example, people who have suffered a stroke may undergo rehabilitation to help their brains rewire and compensate for the damaged areas. Neuroplasticity is also the reason why learning a new skill or language can be challenging at first, but becomes easier with practice.
Research has shown that neuroplasticity is not limited to just the early stages of life. The brain can continue to change and adapt throughout our lives, although the extent of this adaptability may decrease with age. Studies have also shown that lifestyle factors such as exercise, diet, and social interaction can promote neuroplasticity and help maintain cognitive function.
The brain processes information from our senses in a complex and sophisticated way. For example, visual information from the eyes is processed in the occipital lobe, which contains specialized regions for different types of visual processing, such as recognizing faces or reading text. The brain also combines information from different senses to create a unified perception of the world.
Sensory processing can be affected by various factors, such as injury, disease, or developmental disorders like autism. Some people with sensory processing issues may be oversensitive or undersensitive to certain sensory inputs, which can impact their daily lives. Occupational therapy and sensory integration therapy are among the treatments used to address these issues.
Emotions are complex and involve multiple areas of the brain. The amygdala, for example, plays a key role in the processing of fear and other emotions related to survival. The prefrontal cortex, on the other hand, is involved in regulating and controlling emotions, as well as making decisions based on emotions.
Studies have shown that emotions can impact our health and well-being. Chronic stress, for example, has been linked to a range of negative health outcomes, such as cardiovascular disease and depression. Mindfulness-based therapies, such as meditation and cognitive behavioral therapy, have been shown to be effective in managing stress and improving emotional regulation.
Understanding how the brain processes emotions is also important in the treatment of mental health conditions. Medications that target specific neurotransmitters involved in emotional processing, such as serotonin and norepinephrine, are often used to treat conditions like depression and anxiety. Psychotherapy can also help people learn to regulate their emotions and manage the symptoms of these conditions.
The brain has a remarkable capacity to form and store memories. Memories are formed through a process called consolidation, which involves the transfer of information from short-term memory to long-term memory. The hippocampus plays a critical role in the formation of new memories, while the prefrontal cortex is involved in the retrieval of memories.
Learning is closely related to memory. When we learn something new, we are creating new neural connections in the brain. These connections become stronger with practice, which is why repetition and practice are important for learning new skills.
The brain is a complex organ that plays a critical role in mental health. Mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and addiction are often caused by chemical imbalances in the brain. Treatments for these conditions often involve medications that target these imbalances, as well as therapy to address underlying psychological factors.
One promising area of research in the field of mental health is the use of neurofeedback. Neurofeedback is a technique that involves training individuals to regulate their brain activity in order to improve their mental health.
Brain disorders can be caused by a variety of factors, including genetics, environmental factors, and injury. Common brain disorders include Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and epilepsy.
Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder that affects memory and other cognitive functions. There is currently no cure for Alzheimer's disease, but there are medications and lifestyle interventions that can help slow its progression.
Parkinson's disease is a disorder that affects movement and coordination. It is caused by the loss of dopamine-producing neurons in the brain. Treatment for Parkinson's disease often involves medications that increase dopamine levels in the brain.
Epilepsy is a neurological disorder characterized by seizures. It is caused by abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Treatment for epilepsy often involves medications that help regulate this activity, as well as surgery in some cases.
The field of neuroscience is constantly advancing, and there are many exciting developments on the horizon. One promising area of research is the development of brain-computer interfaces. These interfaces could allow people to control machines using their thoughts, which could have a wide range of applications, from prosthetics to virtual reality.
Another promising area of research is the use of deep brain stimulation to treat a variety of neurological and psychiatric disorders. Deep brain stimulation involves the implantation of electrodes in specific areas of the brain to regulate activity.
In conclusion, the brain is a complex and fascinating organ that controls every aspect of our lives. Through research and study, we are gaining a greater understanding of how the brain works and how it can be used to improve human health and well-being.
The future of neuroscience is bright, with many exciting developments on the horizon that could change the way we think about the brain and its functions. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed learning about neuroscience.